Mic check. Yep, here we go. Are you a remote, work-from-home employee or self-employed remote worker? You are wondering how difficult would it be to change lifestyles and move to the Portland, Vancouver area? Well then, this could be the most important video you will watch. In this video, I will explain just how to go about moving to the Portland, Vancouver area as a remote worker. All of the considerations and specifics of getting a mortgage in your new town. The process of searching for and getting a home into contract. All of the important stuff that I have experienced helping all kinds of people move to the city of their choice and keeping their current jobs and doing this seamlessly. This is Joseph Nelson with the Ascend Home team. I specialize in working with relocation buyers looking to either move to or from the Portland, Vancouver area. I am also a certified relocation agent doing corporate relocation. This would be for large companies moving their employees to or from Portland to other locations. And if these large companies trust me with their employees, then you should as well. All of my contact information is below each video in the Show More section. But you have to call or text me in order to start your own moving experience. I have absolutely no way to contact you. You must contact me. And I actually have to put my phone on airplane mode when I record these videos so that I'm not interrupted. And the number shown in the Show More section is my personal cell phone. No, you will not be passed off to a team member thinking you're going to talk with me. You will be, in fact, contacting me. Okay, we're going to start with the current weather here today on the 8th of January. You notice in my background photo that it's quite windy, rainy. There are actually whitecaps on the river. There's been some flooding in the region. Portland and Vancouver have not been flooded. But as you head towards the coast and you come to the low-lying areas, even some of the major interstate highways such as 101 have been closed in portions due to high standing water. The mountains are seeing tons of snow. In one day we had 4 feet of snow up on Mount Hood this last week. So much snow that some of the ski lodges actually closed. There being too much snow on the access roads to get to the ski lodges. So skiers, this is shaping up to be an awesome year on the mountain. Mount Hood Meadows reports 150 inches at the 6,500 foot level, midway between the lodge and the top of the ski lift. So that is a current weather update. Okay, I know moving is stressful, and moving to a new city that you know little about kicks it up a notch. Well, I am here to make you feel at ease and even peaceful about moving to a new city. You worry about the things I cannot do, like packing your house and getting your stuff here. And I will worry about all the details here that seem out of your control. So why the Portland, Vancouver area, first of all? Well, it's not because of the lack of COVID restrictions. We actually, as a state, have, comparatively speaking, fairly high COVID restrictions. States such as Texas, Florida, and Oklahoma have very low COVID restrictions. But that's not here. People do not move here for our conservative politics. People move here for the beauty and the endless opportunities for outdoor recreation. We have ample water here. We have tons of lakes and streams and rivers. We have winter sports here like skiing, snowboarding. We have fishing here year-round. My daughter and I are planning a crabbing trip to the coast, and this is just over an hour away. There is nothing like caught and cooked on the beach, in salt water from the ocean or the bay, Dungeness crab. I would venture to guess that the crab you buy in the store, even though it may only be a day or two old, has lost half of its flavor that it has when you take it freshly out of the hot boiling water and consume it. The flavor difference is amazing. When my daughter and I go, I will make a video specifically on crabbing without a boat, from shore, and fishing poles. And there is nothing like a father-daughter adventure. You too could be sharing these kind of affordable adventures here with your family and friends. It's not necessary to have a boat to catch crab. And we hope to add some bottom fish, some red snapper for instance, to our catch and have a fish and crab feed for the family back at home. Anyway, this is just one example of the kind of recreation we have available to us here within about an hour of home. And by the way, the winter months are the best months to catch crab. I often advocate that there is recreation available here year-round. Well, this is one that's available, rain or shine, from the Portland, Vancouver area. And even if you're crabbing out of state, for $20 you can get a one-day license and as a non-resident, catch tons of crab. This gives me an idea for a new video, the recreation that's available in the winter in the Portland, Vancouver area, and I will make this video soon. It's easy to find recreation in the summer when it's 70 to 80 degrees and sunshine. So this next video will showcase things that can be done in the winter. Hey, by the way, if you are liking this video, smash the like button and subscribe so you will be notified every time I make a new video. And that's weekly, and during the winter I'm striving to make 2 a week. Okay, I regress. My point is that we have endless opportunities for recreation in and around the Portland, Vancouver area. This is why most people move here, for the lifestyle, besides the beauty. Even if your recreation is more casual, a drive for the day and sightseeing, having some lunch and taking in the beauty and driving back home all in one day. Like wine country, within an hour of the Portland, Vancouver area, you can be in wine country and do some wine tasting. Or brew pubs, especially Portland, is known for the quality and quantity of microbreweries that exist. Take a drive down to the beach and have some fish and chips, do some whale watching, take a short hike, and possibly even spot some gray whales with binoculars. Or take a drive in the opposite direction to Hood River and go on what they call the Fruit Loop. And no, this is not about cereal, and it is also not about crazy people. This is a loop that goes through all the fruit orchards in the Hood River Valley, and you can stop at one or more of many fruit stands and buy locally grown, fresh apples, pears, cherries, prunes, just about anything you can think of. And not to mention, between the Portland, Vancouver area and Hood River, you will be going through the Columbia River Gorge, which in itself is an experience that everybody should have. There are also tons of hiking trails in the Columbia River Gorge, from very easy to darn right hard. My point is, you will never run out of things to do here, whether you're an extreme outdoor person or a casual observer. Trust me, in my 60 years here in the Portland, Vancouver area, I have tried to experience everything, but yet, every year I find something new to do. And you can have all of this within an hour of home. This is why people live here. Beauty and endless recreation. Tons of water, everything's green. Okay, end of the sales pitch and back into the content of the video. Let's get to the specifics about moving here. You are going to start by getting on the internet and looking at homes and get a good idea of the market here. Fortunately for you, maybe not for me, fortunately for you, the days of going into a real estate office and viewing the listings in a book that came out once a week, there was no looking at homes on the internet. You had to go into a real estate office and have a realtor. The realtor was the gatekeeper of listings at that time. Everyone does their home searches on the internet now, either at their computer at home or on their phone. I really don't care where you do this. I've tried directing people to specific websites that I think are good, but they've already become accustomed to the websites that they are using, and it seems kind of impossible to steer them into another direction from where they already have a comfort zone. The one I can tell you I would avoid is Zillow. Zillow is known for having listings that are out of date. Many homes that are already sold are slow to be taken off of Zillow. But no matter what app you're using to search for homes, they all share one thing in common. You're only going to see the public comments. The private comments can be very telling about the specifics of the home, and these private comments are only available to the realtors. So here, yes, is a good reason to use a realtor in your search of homes. Things like multiple offers received, and deadline for new offers is Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Fixer, cash only. No rentals allowed. Some of the Neighborhood Homeowners Association do not allow homes to be rented. They can only be owner occupied. And the list goes on. So a quick message with the address or the listing number, and I can shoot you back with either encouragement or discouragement on a particular listing. But ultimately, you're going to want to visit the Portland and Vancouver area before you purchase a home here. And I like to do a tour of both Vancouver and Camas on the Washington side, and one of the many suburbs of Portland on the Oregon side. We have already discussed your pre-approval status, what your price point is, areas of interest, Washington or Oregon. For some people, Oregon is a non-starter because of the state income tax that Washington does not have. Both states share the same time zone as California. We are in the Pacific time zone, the time zone where 70% of my relocation clients are departing. And the Portland Vancouver market is the least costly market of any major city on the West Coast. So ultimately, a tour through Vancouver and Camas and a tour of many of the Portland suburbs is going to give you clarity on the communities you wish to target to buy a home in. And sometimes these realities are different from your preconceived prior to visit. After your initial visit, if it's a couple days and we do not put something into contract, I've had clients fly up to Portland. I pick them up at the airport in the morning. We view 8 homes. I take them back to the airport in the evening, and they fly back home all in one day. Or after your initial visit, I can shoot some video of the home and neighborhoods of homes that after spending some time with you, I think you would like. And it is not unheard of to put a home into contract without actually seeing it. We always get a 10-day or so inspection period, and in this period, we can unilaterally exit the deal without risk to your earnest money. And the only thing you're going to be out is the inspection fee, which averages about $500. Okay, continuing with the process. You need to be pre-approved with a local and respected mortgage broker. Now, the exception to this is if you are working with a corporate relocation company, you will more than likely be using the lender that the relocation company has in their package. But the sellers understand that this is a little different animal than just somebody looking to move here from Los Angeles that has a Los Angeles pre-approval. No, they understand that you are a corporate buyer being moved here, and so this is much more accepted. I have one lender that I like to recommend who works with 90% of my relocation buyers because he understands what I'm doing and he understands what you are doing. He can even help with strategies to buy your new home before selling your old home. This takes a lot of stress out of the process. But it's not unusual for me to be working with relocation buyers that are pretty casual until they get an offer on their departing home, and then all of a sudden we've got to kick it up a notch. But let's talk before you accept the offer on your departing home, because the clock is ticking and we have a limited amount of time to identify the home you want and get it into contract and close it in a time frame that's conducive with the closing of your departing home. But in a nutshell, you should avoid fast closings such as less than 30 days. This is going to be difficult to work with. As a general rule, 40 to 45 days is a good time frame to work with. And recently I was working with a client that wasn't super motivated or being pretty picky and finding reasons to keep looking until they got an offer on their departing home. And then, bam, we've got to get something in contract. We closed relatively simultaneously within 2 days of each other, 33 days from the day they accepted an offer on their departing home. We had to identify the homes that they were interested in, narrow those down and get one into contract as soon as possible. And this means using wisdom, because we don't have the time to put one into contract and find out there's a bunch of problems with it and have to exit and start the process all over again. No, we don't have time for that. We have to be careful and go in with our eyes wide open. Okay, these clients left Phoenix, and it took them 3 days to get here driving their U-Haul. They paid to have it packed in Phoenix, and they scheduled movers 3 days later at noon to unpack it. Problem is, we haven't closed yet. They had the movers scheduled at noon, and at 11:59 I got the all clear. The title company had closed and recorded with the county, and the home was now theirs. Now that's cutting it close. I'm not going to tell you that this was easy for me, the lender, or the escrow company. This took daily, and sometimes more than once a day, contact with all three of these entities to make sure that we were on track. But we pulled it off. The home recorded at 11:45, and I had the authority to turn the home over to them at 11:59. Now understand, as a realtor, I have the physical ability to get into any lockbox of homes that are on the market at any time. I have the physical ability, but unless I have the authority to go into the home, I can't go into the home. Once the home is recorded, then I do have the authority, because it is now my client's home. These clients had all of their home proceeds wired directly to the escrow company in Portland. And this included $90,000 of excess equity that they didn't need to close the deal. There always needs to be a trail with where money came from, and it happens to be the easiest to follow if that trail comes directly from one escrow company to the other. Then the lender has no question about where this money came from. And wire transfers between escrow companies are super easy and safe, where wire transfers between an individual and an escrow company do hold some risk for fraud by people who are dishonest, just like a lot of other fraud that happens. So this was the safest and the cleanest way to move money. And they got the excess funds wired directly to their checking account within an hour of closing. Now, continuing on, details about the mortgage. You will need a letter from your employer that states that you are a remote worker working from home, and that they have your blessing to be in a different city than they are currently working. Approximately 3 days before the loan is scheduled to fund, the mortgage company is going to need a verification that you are still employed there. And this can be a difficult process if you're working for a very large company, because they tend to be unwilling to do this verbally over the phone. So this is something you may want to ask your employer about before 3 days before your home is ready to close. Most people try to take a bit of vacation during their move to the Portland, Vancouver area. Things like making sure their internet is set up in their new home, their office is set up, and all their computers are functioning. This all has to be organized before you are ready to go back to work. Possibly even a cell phone range extender if you have bought a home in an area that has poor cell coverage. But this can generally be overcome by programming your phone to use Wi-Fi calling. So that about wraps it up. You are welcome to call or text me 24/7. If I am asleep, I will return your text or call the next morning. Yes, I do sleep. And again, I am waiting for your text or call to start your own moving experience. Thank you.